everyone, welcome back to Who Knows What the Fuck Number Buddhacast this is. This is your host, Matt Haywood, bringing the OG crew back for a discussion on video games. Today we're going to sit around and we're going to talk about the rise, really the beginning, the rise, and maybe even the fall of video game meta awards. So really that's just a fancy way of saying achievements or trophies. I think that's pretty much what they're called now. I mean, achievements seem to be the de facto, but PlayStation had to be different, and they have trophies. So anyways, I'm here with my man Keith Mathias, who's over there in Maryland, hopefully getting warmer just like it is here in the shitty, boring, flat brown state of Ohio. So how you doing, Keith?
I'm doing all right. It's raining.
Yeah, man, it's been monsooning all week, and you guys know I had a leaky basement. And so far, nothing has leaked in, so I'm hoping that it was just a freak accident and I'm not going to have to spend $20,000 to fix my basement. So,
ouch.
Yes, rain is awesome, but so far, so dry. All right, we're also joined by David Sieber down there in the very hot and dry Austin, Texas weather. How you doing, David?
I'm good. It's actually, we're getting out of our drought now, so it's been raining and it's foggy like every night.
Have you had any bitchin' Texas thunderstorms yet? Because I'll tell you right now, they're unlike anything you'll ever see. I mean...
Not thunderstorms. It's rain every once in a while, but no thunderstorms.
I don't know
yet.
how Austin is, but when I was in Fort Worth, I mean, we're talking the old golf ball hail, and the sky literally turns pitch black. I mean, it's Texas, right? Everything's bigger and better.
Yeah. I went out for lunch at work at like 3 a.m. the other day, and quote unquote lunch, and it walked out and it was just fog. Like you could see about 8 feet in front of you, and then it was just totally gone.
Yeah, it's an interesting state indeed.
Oh yes.
All right, guys. So like I said, today's topic, the whole video game meta awards discussion. So we kind of talked before we went live amongst ourselves, roundtable style, about, where did these things come from? And we all agreed that Microsoft should more or less get the credit for inventing these video game meta awards with the introduction of achievements. So when the 360 showed up, they had these new achievements, and I'm sure, I don't know about you guys, but I was intrigued by them right off the bat. I was like, yeah, that's kind of neat. You get this gamer score thing. Maybe that's a way to kind of put a value on my skills, something like that, something to brag about to friends. And then we start playing the games, and you could immediately figured out that the developers had no clue how to use achievements in their games, because I know at least two games right off the top of my head. The one was an Airbender game. You could get all 1000 G in 3 fucking minutes. It was the greatest game ever for an achievement whore like myself. Any of the 2K games, like the NBA, you name it, you could get the 1000 G in probably an hour. So early on, developers really had no clue how to bake these into games and kind of have them last, spread out, even coax gamers into doing things they typically wouldn't do. But nowadays, there's some games that have hundreds of achievements. I mean, shit, look at the Master Chief Collection. What does it have, like 400 plus achievements or something ridiculous like that? So it's grown with the development. So you guys, how did the achievement craze or the boom affect you? Did you care at all? Did you think it was interesting, or you just gamed the way you've always gamed?
I think they started a little bit earlier for me, because when you think back to like even on the Sega Genesis or like arcade games, like I was in the freaking wing place down the street when I was like 7 with the family, always playing Mortal Kombat, and whenever they had that high score, I mean, in a way, those high score screens were like going for the achievements, trying to just get your score to go up a little bit higher. So for me, it started with that, just trying to get the high scores.
Yeah, but nothing cool popped up and said, hey, Dave, you're awesome because you have the high score. You get 100 points for that. 100 whimsical points that mean nothing in real life. No, I know what you're saying. I mean, you're right. Prior to achievements, all we had to play for were, beat the game and see the ending, hopefully, or if it was a score-based game, climbing up that leaderboard. So what do you think, Keith?
I don't know. I was kind of confused about like what they were when I first had the sound play and the little thingy pop up. He has the little banner at the bottom of the screen.
I still use that sound for my text messages, by the way. That's how hardcore I was in the achievements.
It's the best. It's the best. And I mean, after a while, I got sort of like conditioned to look forward to that sound. So anytime you heard that little boop, it was just like, yes, dopamine rush. But other than that, I don't know. I liked what they were doing when I first sort of became aware of them. I was like, oh, hey, that's kind of cool. Getting like an award or something for doing something neat in the game. But no, it didn't really change the way that I played at first.
But when you say at first, you're qualifying that potentially it did at one point in time. I mean, was it like a certain amount of years? Was it a specific game that got you to kind of get to embrace the Chiefs?
Call of Duty 4. I was obsessed with the game, and just the idea of like, you know, tearing it up in multiplayer wasn't good enough. And I wanted to have that, like, that 1,000 out of 1,000.
Oh, fuck yeah. I mean,
gamer score.
That was a game where I think one of the hardest ones to get, wasn't it that bonus mission where you had the
Mile High Club?
Yep. Hell yeah, dude.
That was hard as shit.
You just reminded me
I still don't have 1,000 out of 1,000 on that game.
Oh, I do. But no, that is one of the games, or that's one of the achievements where you do actually feel like you're in a special club if you can get it, because that is an achievement definitely based around skill and, you know, memorization and really just practice. So no, I definitely will give that to you. I was bummed out on that game that I don't think they gave anything out for hitting 10th prestige. Right? I mean, there really wasn't any multiplayer-based achievements, really.
Yeah, I don't think there were at all. Which is weird because they came out after Gears of War, and I think we talked the last time we did this about that the Seriously.
Oh yeah, well, yeah. If you're going right there, let's get into it, because that I don't know if it was that game or just I definitely became obsessed with achievements for almost a 2 or 3 year run there back in the mid 2000s when it first came out. I mean, it was just a competitive aspect with my cousin, the Afro Zone. I mean, he was into it too. It was like always trying to one up each other. We'd get together and have boosting sessions, and I'll never forget some of the boosting sessions we used to do. And then more people would get into the club and we'd boost, and we'd literally waste hours upon hours boosting achievements in a game like Riddick, running up and be like, all right, dude, it's your turn. Come and punch me in the face 10 times. It's like, all right, blah, 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 blah. Bloop, achievement. Yeah. All right. Now you get to do it. But it was seriously is the achievement I would like to credit to actually getting me kind of back into I wouldn't even say back into, because really Halo 2 is the only game I did multiplayer with prior to it, but it got me back into hardcore multiplayer focused gaming for almost a year straight, because to get Seriously, you had to get 10,000 kills in ranked matches in Gears of War. And if you remember the first Gears of War, it could take 30 fucking minutes to get a match started sometimes. I mean, there was no real matchmaking. You'd start a lobby and you'd have to hope other people found it. And you had the down but not out, so you'd have assholes coming in stealing kills, which would prevent you from increasing your total. But yeah, that is one that literally drove me for probably 7 months until I got it. And like I said, it got me back into just playing online multiplayer almost exclusively for that time period.
I think for me, they get you in when you have, because I love multiplayer games, but I get in on the single player achievements. Like when I played Deus Ex Human Revolution, there's a lot of achievements on there where they don't tell you specifically what they are, what you need to do. So I was constantly online looking up, and it was always some crazy like part of the story I had never noticed. So that to get those achievements, I'd be back playing through the game. I think I've gone through it like 3 or 4 times now, just to try to get those hidden achievements where they're just like totally like blocked, and you have no like. On my 3rd time, I was still finding entire side quests that I'd never seen before.
Yeah, I mean that's a good point. They do offer new ways to explore a game, or even to get more out of a game. I mean, a lot of times if a game has New Game Plus, there's an achievement for beating it then. Or you beat it the first time, you unlock ball punching difficulty, and then you can try to beat that and get an achievement. So yeah, I mean that's an aspect of them which I think keeps them popular, and why some people go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs over them. I mean, you're saying you used to go online. I don't know who you're kidding, dude. I had Xbox360achievements.org bookmarked. I mean, I'd go right there, and those guys, I mean, they would create guides step by step. This is what you got to do. You can do it this quick. This is the best method to get all 1,000. And I used to literally dictate how I'd play games based on their guides, which is why I think I eventually fell out of love with achievements, but we'll move on to that in a little bit. So it just, like I said, it modeled my behavior playing a game. Rather than just playing a game to enjoy it, I would say, well, shit, I got to play it on insane or the most hard difficulty or veteran, because if I do it that way, it'll save me time and it'll unlock all the other difficulty achievements at once, and I won't have to play it twice. I just got to get through it quick, get my achievements, move on to the next game.
You're like, let me just, ramp it up to legendary on Halo 4. And I got to play it by myself the first time through, so that you get the extra achievement for beating it on legendary, but also doing it on legendary alone. Like you got to get it all at once.
It completely dictated how I approached games. Yeah. I mean, it completely dictated how I approach games. I don't know, maybe not enjoying them anymore. It almost felt like a chore. Like, damn, I just want to play this game and have fun. I want to be on normal. I don't want to be on, super duper hard. I don't want to feel like I'm getting my ass kicked. I don't want to bite myself. I don't want to break controllers. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I think Borderlands 2 always killed me because theirs required you to play, in order to get all achievements, you had to play as all 4 characters for an extended amount of time. And when you're so focused on like trying to get that one character up to 72 or 60 or whatever, depending on whatever DLC you got, it was freaking annoying because I don't really care about maxing out achievements, but I think I'm the closest on Borderlands 2 and on Deus Ex, and I couldn't complete it because I'm like, I don't want to fucking play as the Gunzerker or as Axton because I already have 2 characters I'm trying to max out right now. Plus, they add in all those badass ranks where you got to go through like pages of stuff and that you got to complete those too. It's like side achievements.
Yeah, those ones.
It's a headache.
There were some times I'd just be like, "There's no fucking way I'm doing this," especially when it was a collection base where you had to find 1,000 orbs or something and crack down 2, or I'm like, okay, that's enough. But I did have a friend. His name's Bane of Fenris. That's his handle. But this guy was the most dedicated hardcore achievement whore I've ever met. And I'm sure he's still the same way. But just to show you how hardcore he was, when Gears of War 3 came out, I mean, some of the multiplayer achievements were insane. Like the requirements you had to get them, just the amount of gameplay you'd have to put into, the amount of kills, this, that, and the other thing. He bought an Xbox dedicated to that game so he could leave it on 24/7 and accrue the necessary gameplay time to hit some of those higher level multiplayer achievements until he got his 1,000. And the Xbox literally blew up because he let it run for probably 3 months straight, never turning it off. He would put like a rubber band on the controller so it wouldn't fall asleep. I mean, that's how dedicated he was. I mean, he would do any of them. He did the Dead Space one where you essentially get one save and you have to beat the whole game. Dead Space 2 it is. One save and you have to beat the whole game without dying on the hardest difficulty. I mean, he's a glut for punishment, but he's dedicated. I mean, if you look up his achievements, I bet he is 1,000 for 1,000 on every game he's ever played. So, I mean, he there is no missing achievements, which is impressive, but it also is kind of it's a little bit of lunacy too when you really think about the shit he used to do to get that.
He has a work from home job, I'm guessing.
He was a kind of a stay-at-home dad for a while. The missus would go out and work, and he'd watch the little kid, or maybe the Xbox would watch the little kid. I don't know, but yeah, Bane's my man. I mean, some of the shit was impressive that he had the dedication to do. I mean, he had the skill to get the hard ones too, but some of the time-based ones are just, some of the shit he used to do is mind-boggling. But hey, to each their own. I mean, there are bragging rights, I guess. I mean, wasn't there one guy that had over 1 million gamer score, where there's like 2 guys competing with each other that had 1 million Xbox achievements at one point in time? I think it was even just last year they hit 1 million.
Is there a max to how many achievement points you can get on the Xbox or PS4 or 3?
I mean, I don't think anyone's hit it yet. No. I mean, like I said, I know there are people that are in the million range, and it's not like their console blew up or a bunch of ones and zeros showed up on their score.
Yeah. Instead, Microsoft gave them like free Xbox Live for life.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say it would have been cool if they did kind of slide you something. I mean, and it's kind of gone away on the Xbox One, but towards the tail end of the 360, I mean, not that it's dead, but it was getting to the point where you could actually unlock avatar awards. And I'd almost rather get those, than an achievement at this point.
Just
we got to dress up those little guys. Not that you can you even dress up your guys anymore on the Xbox One? I mean, that shows you how much I pay attention to that shit.
Yeah, I think you can. They gave you like new stuff you can add onto them now too. I don't go into it because it's not as easy as a 360. On a 360, it was a tab. It was like the second tab over. But now on the Xbox One, I think I found it once, but you have to kind of search for it.
yeah, and like the only
I used.
oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, you go.
But like the only thing that you can do with the avatars these days anyway is like take a screenshot of them to use as your icon. Like they don't hang out and like sit there and dance.
I mean, as lame as they are, really. I mean, let's face it, it's kind of dumb. I mean, again, that's something Nintendo created that Microsoft thought they had to have, I guess. But yeah, it was on the 360. You could sit there and wiggle your controller around and get them dizzy, and you could waste money on gimmicky but awesome looking gear for them, helmets and props, this, that, and the lightsabers. I mean, I don't know how many fucking lightsabers I bought for my avatar, but he definitely had more than one.
I will say I like the achievements when you complete them and they give you a little piece of gear you can add onto your avatar. That's what I was talking about. I was like, I'd almost rather just exclusively get avatar items than just random points saying, hey, good you, go you. Yeah, I got all the pieces of Fable 3 gear on them for a while when that was still out.
Yeah, the chicken head or whatever, chicken chaser.
Oh no, it was the king, the crown and the king like shirt and boots and shit.
Yeah, there was some good stuff, but that's all kind of dried up now. It's just the generic pop-up message. They made it sound like achievements were going to be more advanced on the Xbox One, but it hasn't really materialized, at least not to me.
Yeah, no.
They just, the most recent update, at least now you know what the score was. Before it would just pop up like, hey, 30G, and you'd go, all right, cool, thanks. Now it actually stays on screen a little bit longer and says, "Oh yeah, you beat this or you did that." Because I've been seeing that playing Child of Light based on Keith's recommendation.
How are you liking
a few
it?
Weeks ago. Oh, it's fantastic.
It's so good.
Dude.
It's so good.
It's way longer than I thought it would
Yes.
be. I mean, I'm kind of taking my time, but I could see where you could easily almost speed run through the whole thing. But it reminds me of Ori. Not that's kind of unfair because it came out before Ori, so I guess Ori is sort of like Child of Light with no difficulty whatsoever.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
I mean, her being able to fly is fucking great because you just zip wherever. There's no jumping, none of that bullshit.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Oh, I love it. I mean, I love it. I love the art design. I mean, I like the gameplay and even the kind of the weirdo, fantastical story is kind of interesting. So that's definitely one of the best free subscription based games I've played. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, hands down.
But I haven't played Transistor on PlayStation 4, so.
Oh shit. I'm still like plugging away at that here and there. That's so good as well.
I know. That's what I mean. I think these free games are getting better, so I just need to start getting through them. But that goes back to our backlog conundrum cast from 2 weeks ago. So go listen to that one, people. We're talking about achievements now.
What is the between you two? What is the toughest achievement that you still haven't gotten that you've legitimately tried to get for the longest time?
Without sounding like an asshole, there is no achievement that I set out to do that I haven't achieved. If it just looked too tough, I would be like, I'm not even messing with it. But I think the ones, I mean, if we want to kind of go to the ones that you're most proud of, Mile High Club definitely comes up there. Seriously 1.0, and then like Keith said, I forget what it was called, but it was one of the Halo games where it was like Legendary Solo, because I actually felt like. And really, some of the early Call of Duty veterans, even though it was fucking cheating and it really wasn't all skill based, but just the fact that you had the patience and the sanity to get through those till the end to beat on veteran. I mean, I count all those as my crowning achievements, if you will.
Keith, how about you?
Ones that I didn't get that I tried out for, like I mentioned earlier, Mile High Club. I can't even count how many times I tried running through that plane, but it never worked out.
How many times did you get all the way to the end and fuck up the shot?
Oh my God.
Oh my God. I'm just
Probably like 20 or 30.
I'm just remembering the frustration there, because really
By the time you get to the end,
that's like the easiest part.
Yes.
I mean, if you think about it, that's the easiest part. But by the time you get there, you're so frazzled and your nerves are so tweaked that you're like, and you fucking shoot the hostage 9 times out of 10.
yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was about to just real quick. Or you have like a fraction of a second to make the shot.
Yeah,
because you only have 45 seconds for the entire mission anyway.
God damn! I'm just right there. You start right in the bathroom. You run into the hallway, throw some fucking flash bangs, and pop, run through, pop, more bangs up the steps. Yeah, that was nuts.
Yep.
XPlay did a video, I remember like years and years ago, when that was like when the game first came out, about how to get through the Mile High Club achievement. I remember just watching it and being like, nope, not even going to give it a shot. So I never actually ended up trying that one.
I definitely had to study for it. This was not just Matt finding his own path. I mean, I had to look to see the recommended routes, because for the most part, the AI would play out nearly identical every respawn. Yeah. So you could kind of get an idea of the patterns. But it was no joke. It was no joke at all.
For me, I think it was BioShock Infinite. There's an achievement for killing a handyman by only shooting it in the heart.
Oh God!
And I don't think I tried it a few times, but they never give you them in a situation, or at least rarely, where it's just the handyman. It's usually multiple enemies, or you're in one area where it's just him, and then while you're trying to line up your shot, he knocks you off into another area, and then you're surrounded. So I never was able to line that up perfectly.
That game, I mean, that game on the hardest difficulty, at least the final boss fight was a little bit of a bitch too. I don't know if you guys tried it out on the hardest difficulty, but I remember the whole Songbird / Zeppelin final battle being a fucking nightmare.
The first time I played that, I didn't even realize that. I think I got shot down the first 2 Zeppelins, and then I think there's some kind of glitch because it didn't alert me that there's another Zeppelin.
You are exactly right, dude. I mean, it's one of those very ambiguous boss battles where there's almost triggers you have to hit, and if you miss them, you're fucked.
Yeah, I sat there and I played it for like 20 minutes of just repeating enemies. I'm like, okay, I have to be doing something wrong. And I looked up a video, and I'm like, oh, it wasn't prompting me to shoot down the next Zeppelin, so I didn't know.
I know exactly what you're talking about. That was definitely a fantastic game, definitely a frustrating moment for sure. So I guess when you were in achievements, or if you still are, did it dictate what console you would play on? Because it did for me. I mean, I literally only played multi-platform games on the Xbox 360 because that's where I had a bulk of my achievements already earned. And I'm like, well, fuck it, I might as well keep building up my score because I wanted to have a high score. And at this point in time, I'm up to 123,000. If I actually played games like I used to when I was an achievement fiend, I guarantee that would be probably 150, 160, maybe even higher than that. So I have a very weak PS trophy rating at this point. I only have like a 12, and I have no platinums, which is kind of embarrassing. But like I said, in any game I would have got 1,000 on, which is essentially the platinum trophy for PlayStation. I did it on the Xbox 360. So you guys same way, or you didn't really give a shit?
I was always a Xbox, fanboy, so I've always gone to that. Only until the recent consoles have I been like kind of torn between them. But I have an Xbox One. But when I'm over at my friend's house, they're always PlayStation 4. So I think just Xbox tends to have a little bit more focus on the achievements. I don't think they're as like prevalent on the PlayStation as they are on the Xbox. So I think Microsoft kind of still has the focus on achievements more. It feels more rewarding, I think.
Well, you're right. They add a little fanfare to it where, I mean, now sometimes even on the PS4, you don't even know when you're getting trophies. I mean, you don't even hear that little meh, like that violin crash sound or whatever it is. You don't really even see that half the time, or at least I don't. Maybe it's a glitchy game, but yeah.
It's much less obtrusive than...
Yeah, it's not smack dab in the middle of the fucking screen.
Yeah.
Pop up and it stays there for 3 seconds and then closes, and hit your button or say go to that and go look at it. Yeah,
dude, I love.
What about you, Keith? Did it influence what console you spent the most time on?
Not really. I mean, I was more invested in my 360 just because I had more friends that had 360s, and for the longest period of time, I was like, oh, I'm going to play multiplayer games only. And, why am I going to play on the PS3 when I have 2 friends with a PS3 and 20 friends with a 360? It just didn't make any sense.
Yeah, I mean, a part of that is because essentially what happened this generation where Microsoft, fucked up the announcement of the Xbox One and did the flip-flopping, this, that, and the other thing, and kind of put a bad taste in everyone's mouth. So the PS4 kind of got a nice little early lead.
Yep.
Which the same thing happened back in the previous generation where they get up there and they're like, hey, PS3, it's going to be $600. It's going to have the cell processor that no one knows how to develop for. Blah, 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 blah. I mean, all these amazing features, and no one bought it because a lot of developers, like I said, they did not know how to develop for a cell processor. So a lot of multi-platform games were coming to 360 first, and Microsoft took advantage of that, and the 360 rocketed up as far as units sold. Eventually the PS3 I think ended up having more units sold at the end of that generation, but it's kind of played into these days where I'm almost playing more multiplayer games or multi-platform on the PS4 now, because A, they tend to look better, B, well, it doesn't matter now. I think we can screenshot on Xbox now, but really up until a few weeks ago, you can only do that on the PS4, which I liked for reviewing and previewing and all that fun stuff. So, and like I said, and kind of transitioning into the second part of this discussion is the whole achievement craze has kind of left me completely, and I feel a little empty over it, but at the same time, I feel a little relieved.
I think it'd be nice to see, at least later in the console generation, or maybe even something that we don't see until next console generation, whatever that may come, is where the achievements actually do a little bit more to lend towards the game. So maybe if you score enough gamer points, you can cash them in for something in a game, or you can...
Oh, no, in-game currency with achievements. I actually kind of like that idea.
Yeah. I mean, that way the points actually go towards something. Because I don't think anyone's ever, at least me personally, and I think most people I play with, we're not impressed by your gamer score. Because there's plenty of games out there that'll give you achievement points for doing just simple shit. I mean...
like pressing the start button.
Yeah.
I mean, there's like the Simpsons game, and I think South Park gave you an achievement for hitting start. Yep. So, yes.
So there's plenty of games, especially early 360 games. I mean, I think it was like Xbox, Outside Xbox, or someone did an article on like the 10 Xbox 360 games that came out early on when they just started achievements that didn't understand that you can't just give them all out for free. And they were just, some of them were reoccurring. Like you could keep repeating them. And so it's too easy to get a high score. So if you made it a little bit more difficult and made those points go towards something, I think that would get it back up again.
True that. True that. I mean, I think one reason why I've kind of fallen off of the whole bandwagon, and it's the reason why my gaming habits in general have changed, and it's this fucking website of mine. I mean, let's face it. When you start a website like this and you try to drive it towards becoming somewhat relevant, it takes up a teeny tiny amount of your time. And when you do get things rolling and you get PR people hitting you up and wanting to check stuff out, the games you play and the time you have to play them becomes regulated by other people than yourself. So it's, as much as I'd love to pad my gamer score at this point in time, I also want to be able to move on to the next game so I can be ready for the next review, the next preview, the next convention, the next interview. I mean, you guys know how it is. I mean, it's our habits for, you know, a little bit are influenced by the stuff we do for write about for the site. So that is definitely one reason why I have fallen off of the achievement whore bandwagon.
Yeah, you can't go for 100,000 Gears of War 3 kills or 2 or 3 or whatever it is when you're trying to.
Yeah, and I did that. I actually have that achievement. I remember anytime I would exercise, I would get on my recumbent bike here in EBHQ, the basement. I'd fire up that section of the game, and I'd literally replay one checkpoint over and over on that big ass tank because you could just mow down, you know, dummy locust hordes over and over and over. And I did that, you know, for months and months and months until it finally unlocked. So yeah, I'm an asshole. I'm brain dead. I mean, that's probably why I love free-to-play mobile games now, because I can just sit there and be like, duh, 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 and just, you know, push on stuff and be like, hey, neat. Okay, I played for 15 minutes. I can't play anymore. Bye. I don't know. I'm losing it, man. Maybe I'm losing my attention span for video games in general, but
just kudos to you for being able to exercise and play video games. I can't take a shit and play mobile games at the same time.
Oh, dude, I am a professional gaming multitasker. Shitting and playing mobile games is my new pastime. I mean, it's part of my life. I don't go to the bathroom unless I have my iPhone 6 on me. Can't do it. Guy, you know, I can get in a quick round of Boom Beach, or I can go collect some resources in Star Wars Commander. There's always time, although I think it may be giving me hemorrhoids, so I should probably stop doing it.
That's when you know you game too much.
Oh, dude, when you're sitting on the pod and your lower extremities go numb, you've definitely overstayed your welcome for sure.
How about you, Keith? How are your hemorrhoids doing?
You know,
not too bad lately.
Not too bad. I'm not a gaming person on the pot.
You're not a potty gamer?
No,
Are you a potty reader at least? Or you just get in and do your business and go?
No, I either read or squat and surf. So I'll browse Twitter.
Do you guys not find people weird that just go in and take a shit in like 2 minutes and leave?
I don't think I've ever taken a 2-minute shit before in my life. Like, I have to plan out my day around them. They take
yeah, okay,
time.
Good. All right. Maybe it's a girl thing. I mean, I'm sure my wife would love me talking about this, but she can literally take a dump in like a minute. It's just like she pees. And I'm like, how the fuck do you do that? She's like, what? I just sit down and it comes out and I'm done. I said, but don't you like want to relax? Fucking, you know, think about life. To me, sitting on the toilet is kind of like riding a lawn tractor where you can just sit there and fucking meditate and zen out until you're like, oh shit, I can't feel my toes anymore. I better get up. So, yeah, there's a nice little tangent, as usual, on the Entertainment Budacast, talking about shitting. Yeah. Do you have any meta games for shitting?
There should be just achievements for just life stuff. Like, I know it's always cliche, but I want an achievement if I ever have a 2-minute poop. I want...
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Just hire a team of people just come in and clap for me. Just, yay, you did it.
I had a 10-pound fecal movement.
Oh,
that's
normal.
I had my shit floated out of the toilet achievement, that type of stuff. So, all right. So back to the achievement discussion. If we have anything left to talk about.
That's what we were talking about.
I do. I have one question.
Yeah. Let her rip.
How the hell do developers figure out whatever bullshit arbitrary assignment of like gamer points, or if the trophy is going to be bronze or silver or gold? Like
that's a brilliant question, dude. That really is, because there's sometimes you scratch your head, right? You're like, what? That was only worth fucking 10 points, and it just took me 3 hours to get.
Yeah.
Or some, you know, like an Avatar. I mean, not that that was a real game, but I think I hit the B button 4 times and got 1,000 G.
Yeah, like
so,
that's ridiculous. Yeah.
Do you think they just like give it to the intern and say, hey, figure, you know, just kind of do eeny, meeny, miny, mo, and you have 1,000 total points to deal out, just kind of slap them in there as you see fit? Or do you think they do it just to wrench gamers, you know, kind of like, hey, there you go, you fucking idiots. If you want to waste all your time doing this, go for it. You're only going to get 1 G.
I think games that have a lot of achievements, like like Borderlands, for instance, the games that have larger amounts of achievements tend to make them smaller. Like, I think most of Borderlands achievements were just 10 points, maybe 20.
Yeah, see, I would prefer less achievements, bigger points.
Yeah, same here.
Agreed.
I just think they're more satisfying to get, like a 50 G'er. I mean, when you'd see that 100 G'er pop up, I couldn't even help myself. I'd be like, 100 G! I'd stand up and, fucking beat my chest like I just won the Super Bowl or something, even though it was some lame-ass achievement. But, I mean, that, like I said, they motivated how I played games and really why I played games for many years, and they don't anymore. That's kind of why I cooked up this topic. I'm like, what the hell happened? And I mean, I think the obvious reason is just starting the site and kind of it becoming a part of my life, and it actually eats into my free time. So that's one thing. And it's just I want to get through games now. I don't want to sit there and be like, all right, fuck, I got to play, Halo Legendary Solo by myself the first time. I have no clue what's coming at me, so it's probably going to take even longer, but I'm going to do it so I don't have to play it twice.
Yep.
Good old Halo. Although I did play Halo 4 on normal first because I got a review copy, and then I immediately went back and played it on Legendary Solo to experience the pain.
It's so good. It hurts so good.
That's a challenging one. Yeah, that's a challenging one for sure. Those motherfucking, what were those things called?
The Promethean Knights.
Yeah, those shitheads. And then you got those floating healing stations above them that spawn little dogs and crap.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm looking it up. I'm looking it up right now for what games give the highest achievement score for one achievement, and
what do we got?
It seems mostly like sports games. So first one right off the bat here, 1 second. First one right off the bat was SmackDown vs. Raw 2008 with this year inductee. That was at 350 G. Complete 30 years of the franchise, and NFL 06 was 400 Gs.
Did it. I know I did that one. I just fucking simmed that shit.
FIFA World Cup 06, completing all scenarios, 500 Gs.
Pretty sure I did. That's why I brought up earlier. Any of these early EA or 2K sports games, they're just like, who gives a shit? 5 achievements at 150, 250 G a pop. What are some other any other good ones there?
Oblivion has a lot. Fallout 3 had a lot.
Oblivions were good though.
True.
I would imagine you would have had to work for those.
Yeah.
I was not into the whole Elder Scrolls deal when that game was out, but I'd imagine you'd have put some time in for those bad boys.
Oh, yeah.
You did.
Fallout 3's, I'm going through Fallout 3 again actually right now, and they toss out a few of them just right off the bat, but there are definitely quite a bit that you can get. There's total achievement points you can get from Fallout 3 is 1,500. That's
Speaking of, did you guys ever find it odd that Microsoft put a cap on the number of achievements a game could have, or that a DLC could have?
I didn't know they had one.
Oh yeah, I mean it was like written in the bylaws that your game when it shipped could only have 1,000 G straight up.
Well,
And then
Fallout 3
I think
has 1,500. So
Right, but after the DLC came in, I mean a lot of those are for the add-on content.
Yeah.
Okay.
Same with like the 2,000 that Oblivion has. Like 1,000 of that was from the Knights of the Nine and Shivering Isles quests.
It's just weird. I mean, obviously that's changed because I think, like we said, the Master Chief Collection, I believe, has 4,000 G total, but maybe there's like, well, it's 4 individual games, so we can kind of get through that loophole in your rules, but I'm pretty sure that's still an edict of Microsoft. 1,000 G only for the main game, and then you can kind of append more with DLC.
Yep.
I mean, did you think that... I guess why? Why do you think that is a case? Do you think that the G's take up so much space in the program? I mean, what could be the reasoning behind that?
Standardization. Pretty
Just
much.
to make sure no devs like taking advantage of it. Like, hey, our games have 50,000 G, only buy our shit.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
you can get Mass Effect 1. It's saying you can get 1,200. It's not saying anything about DLC.
I'd have to go back and look, but I swear it was, it did have like a DLC mission or two.
It may be. Hold on. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 1,200. It's 1,200 gamer score points and 47 trophies.
Yeah. I don't know, but I definitely have 1,000 on that bad boy. I think I have 1,000 on all the Mass Effect games because they were well worth playing multiple times for sure, and playing on hard. Mass Effect 3 got a little challenging towards the end on the hardest difficulty. That final run. I mean, the game's so old, I don't know if there's really spoilers anymore, but I remember that the last run there got a little hairy. Yeah, when you're Shepard and you're headed towards the relay beam, they get sucked up into the ship. Yeah. It was like right before that, there's a bunch of fucking challenging, enemy dumps right on your face. God, I love that franchise. I miss it.
Someone's gonna have to.
I miss Shepard.
Someone's gonna have to just freaking duct tape me to a chair till I finish the second one and the third one, because I always, like I said, I've gotten closer. I'm over halfway through the second game, and then I stop.
It doesn't just compel you to keep going. I mean, when I got those games, I did not put it down until I played it twice. Literally, I mean, I played each one. I played Mass Effect 1 probably 4 or 5 times, because those achievements, they're based on your party. And remember, in Mass Effect 1, once you kind of pick certain party members, that's all you got to use. So I know I played that one multiple times. I know I played Mass Effect 2 at least twice, and 3 twice.
It does compel me for a little while, and then you get to that certain dull point. Like I got to the point right now where it
blasphemy.
There is no dull point in Mass Effect.
Well, you just get to the point where it's the same thing. Like I've
How dare you have a different opinion?
I know. But I have the trilogy.
Reported for lame.
Oh, that fucking asshole. Sorry, people. Those of you listening, Keith, is jabbing me a little bit over. I submitted a post last night, a rant, if you will, and it was a rant, but it's an opinion of mine, and it was validated. I even did math. I mean, I even put some numbers in it.
You know, it's tough for you, Matt.
Yeah, and this fucking asshole on Film Watch reported it as lame. Now, a lame report on Film Watch doesn't prevent people from approving it. Like, it's not going to yell at them for approving something with a report, but it lists a report in the pending, and when people see that, they just automatically glance over it, and they're like, fuck it, it's reported, and I'm not touching it. So when someone reports something lame, they're essentially killing the post because they don't like it. And I just think that's a fucking crock of shit. And one of the reasons why those sites boil my blood like none other. It is true. The fucking Star Wars Digital HD Collection is a ripoff, people. Just look at the prices. $120 for 6 digital movies. You can get 10 of the Star Trek movies for $50.
In HD?
Yes.
Jesus.
You can get all 8 Harry Potters for $50. But no, Disney's like, fuck it. These assholes paid George Lucas money out their asses, so we're gonna do it too.
Damn.
It just burns my ass that they are charging $20 for the shittiest versions of the films. They don't even have the 20th Century Fox fanfare in them anymore because Disney owns it. Rant over. All right?
Yeah.
Sorry. Shit just gets me upset. I know you guys are in a little bit younger generation than me, but those prequels they're an abortion. They're a fucking stain on the franchise, and they almost effectively killed my love for it completely. Thank you. Enough said. Benson's, I know you'll love that Star Wars rant because I know how much you love Star Wars.
I'm putting a metaphorical cold towel around your shoulders right now, Matt.
Bunch of commies out there. Come on, JJ. Redeem this franchise. I need you. I need you to redeem it. All right, so we have anything else left to say on achievements besides they were cool? They definitely influenced the way I played games, and now I could give 2 shits about them. Although, I'm not going to lie, on the Xbox One, you got like the one of the slides, it shows your friend rankings for each week for achievements, who's in the lead or who's in, the top 5, essentially. I'm not going to lie, I definitely look at that, and I'm like, I'm in third place. Maybe if I play a little bit longer, I can squeeze up to second. I mean, there's this, it's just that natural competitiveness, I guess.
See, I like that. That's cool. But I don't know.
Yeah, like, hey, Keith, I just knocked you off the number one ranking on Xbox One dashboard.
Yeah.
Something like that, talking shit. Like, hey, David, suck my ass. I just overtook your weekly ranking for achievements earned.
Hashtag smiley face.
Yeah.
My money's still on eventually having the achievement score go towards buying in-game stuff. That's still where I'm betting on.
Dude, I think you should quit saying that and patent that shit and sell it as a game design technique, because I actually think that's freaking brilliant. I mean, I don't know if anyone would ever do it, but I think that's a brilliant concept. I mean, you did that, or if you did we get back to like Avatar Awards, or hell, even give me some fucking desktop wallpaper. I mean,
you have things like whatever the fuck Ubisoft's thing is, where you can go in and like buy stuff with like. Ubisoft has it already to a point.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it's action play points.
Yeah,
or
like with I had enough achievement score in I think it was Conviction, Splinter Cell Conviction, and I went and bought a uniform in the game. And I went and bought a new pair of goggles. So we have it on a very small scale with certain games. So if we could just make it something where it's patented by Microsoft instead of like individual companies, then I think it could be really kicked off.
Dude, get on it. You're in Austin. I think BioWare has an office down there. EA, just walk in and be like, listen, my name's David and I have a fucking fantastic idea.
I just found out Rooster Teeth is like freaking 10 minutes away from my house.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, you are in a hotbed for young video game talent, companies, everything. Yep. I mean, that is Austin right now.
Yep.
I mean, it's a very technological, advanced city. I think you assholes even have the Google broadband, don't you?
I don't have it because I'm stuck with Comcast, assholes. But
really?
Yeah.
I mean, it's still segregated by where you live?
Not Comcast, Time Warner. Even worse.
Shit.
Yeah,
right.
In apartment complexes, you're almost always stuck with whatever they want to hand you.
Yeah. So. Damn it. That's ball busting right there. A little bit. I am like, Keith, can you get Fios where you're at?
Nope.
You're East Coast.
Nope.
Huh.
You know who can? The people at the end of my fucking road.
Are you serious?
Yup.
Is it just like a neighborhood thing? I mean, does it like a county line cross in between your streets?
No, it's just I live on like this podunk back road, and you can get it up on the main road. But
they didn't run the fiber past that.
But a mile back, they don't want to do that. Verizon's basically said, because like I went to school in Salisbury on the Eastern Shore, and was like, oh hey, like I'll get Fios, it'll be awesome. They basically said that it's never coming to the shore ever. So it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I would literally cut off my left testicle to either get Google Broadband or Fios because the shit that we pay for and we get from the Time Warners and the Comcasts of the world, it's such a price gouging service. It's a shitty service. I mean, those of you that understand networking and switches and whatnot, when you pay for cable internet, you're essentially sharing one circuit with your whole fucking neighborhood. So we're all pulling from the same data circuit. Yeah, we get our supposed 30 meg or 50 meg down and our 5 meg up, but it's still not a clean pull. You're still sharing these signals with other people, and it's not even that reliable. I mean, just this morning I woke up and my shit was all bonkers. I had to restart the router. They've had to come up and dig up my yard to run the line properly because it was getting a bunch of chatter from other shit underneath the ground. And it's a damn monopoly, and it just makes me sick that we say that this country does not support monopolies when it so clearly does, especially with utilities.
If only we had Benson's on here to laugh at us.
Right, because those motherfuckers, he's paying like $1 and he gets 70 or 80 down and like 20 up or something ridiculous. Everyone over there, they pay pennies to get amazing internet. I don't even have the option. I mean, I can get AT&T, which is essentially shitty DSL, or Time Warner. That's it. I can't. FiOS isn't even close to over here because they've been blocked by Comcast and Time Warner, who are now just one big fucking company. But we don't support monopolies in America. Telling you, I need to run for office, and my ticket would be nothing but stupid shit I bitch and moan about when it comes to technology. But sometimes my
Internet and
students
Star Wars.
just have to. Oh my God, they just have to roll their eyes because I mean, I'll get on tangents about how I think it's such a crock of shit that when it comes to web design, that we have this governing body that literally says, this is what HTML5 code is. This is how you use it. But then the browser developers can basically do whatever the fuck they want, causing developers to have to specifically code things a certain way for every freaking browser in the planet. All right, no one that's ever done web developing has a clue what I'm talking about, but if you have developed websites, you know exactly what I'm talking about, and it probably burns your ass as bad as mine. So you can get me on the 2016 ticket. I'm running for fairness and equality in internet access and browser rendering of HTML code.
I'll make you the t-shirts.
Thank you. I just got to find a running mate now, some other crotchety asshole that really cares about this type of stuff like I do. All right, so as we wind up, I kind of like the pace of this one, guys. It's been a good almost an hour so far, but I want to go around and let's just spend some time on a little segment called, what are we kind of geeking out on right now? I don't care if it's games, collectibles, movies, books, TV. Let's just kind of go around and talk about a few things we're geeking out on, playing, watching. You get the deal. How about Keith? You want to start if you have any?
Sure, man.
Anything that's making you a better geek, one post at a time?
Let's see. Just finished up Batman Eternal last week, and I'm sitting here looking at issue 52 right now. I'm happy it's over. It got kind of slow for a little bit, but for the most part, it was a really, really awesome series. All
right, I'm a comic book noob. Sorry to cut in, but
Sure.
I got to ask this. Do they do this regularly where they'll have a year-long weekly series, or is this something normal? I mean, special or something that happens every so often?
I'm not 100% sure because I'm pretty comic newbie too.
Okay, we'd have to defer to Justin then.
Yeah, like seriously, the only comic books that I read are fucking Batman and anything else that Scott Snyder's reading or writing.
Okay. I just didn't know if they've done that before, or if it's, isn't it typically like let's say it's Justice League, you get maybe a new issue every month or something.
Yeah,
like that,
most books are monthly.
Yeah. Okay,
and then like you'll get an annual, so like a one-off each year. But I know like last year was Batman's 75th anniversary. So I think they were doing like this huge sprawling story as part of the like Batman 75th anniversary special type thing. I don't know.
Speaking of that, I have my Batman 75th anniversary rainbow Funko Pops sitting upstairs on my porch.
That's
Getting
awesome.
Ready to be opened. Hell yeah. All right, anything else?
I don't know, man. Still playing Mordor, still liking it, just kind of chilling. My brother, I'm actually downloading it right now. My brother suggested that I pick up Neverwinter, which is that new free to play MMO on Xbox One. So he and his friends got really into it. So I was like, sure, I'll give it a shot. Like as long as it has a better random number generator than Destiny, I'm good to go.
Yeah, I mean anything's better than that. You know what? And I just wrote a piece today. It really wasn't just on free-to-play games. It was more or less justifying why I play free-to-play games and why I play them almost in an addictive manner these days. But free-to-play is getting much, much better. I mean, I know some people, it really fucking pisses them off. Like just the concept. I don't understand why. It's like, well, then don't play the game. Their argument is, well, I'd rather just pay $50 and get the game rather than spend $100 and get fucking in-game currency and unlock shit. Where I'm like, well, I'd rather just download it for free and play, little snippets of it throughout the day. It's on a tablet anyways. It's not like I want to sit there for 3 hours and have an in-depth gameplay experience, but it is. It's in general. I mean, that Warframe on PlayStation, PS4 when it first came out, that was a pretty solid free to play. I've heard, like you said, a lot of good things with this Neverwinter free to play. So, and even DC Universe Online. I mean, I like free to play. I really, it does not bother me. I have enough self control to not sit there and spend money to make my shit upgrade faster. So what? I mean, there's plenty of hours in the day, many days in the month, plenty of months in a year, and it's not going anywhere. So, fire it up on the toilet, make some moves, move on to the next one. When I'm ready to retire for the night, same thing. Go through my little rotation, make my changes, make my moves, and then wait for it again in the morning. So, free to play. Woo! Yeah! All right. How about you, David? What are you geeking out on? Gaming, finding new jobs, new work?
Yeah, loving my job, but gonna get a little bit more days off now, so I can enjoy the video game world a little bit more. But since the last time we talked, last time I was playing Hardline. On the multiplayer side of things, I do not like it. It feels more like a little bit like Counter-Strike. You die a lot quicker compared to like Battlefield 3 and 4. So I was only renting that, gave that back up happily. Jumped into some older games, was doing Ghosts, Call of Duty Ghosts, Black Ops 2 again, Fallout 3.
Black Ops 2, huh?
Well, because I heard that whole thing that they had the announcement for Black Ops 3 as like kind of a teaser on Black Ops 2. And I'm like, hey, I haven't picked that up in a while, so I picked that up again.
Yeah, it was the definition of a teaser. It was fucking radio chatter.
Yeah, and as soon as I picked it up the other day, you turn it on and it said, God, I don't remember what the fucking message was, but all it was a picture of a dead tree in the middle of a snowfield. And I was like, I don't like playing like this cryptography shit. I was like, you know what? Someone else will figure this out for me. Moving on.
I like how people still get surprised that a new Call of Duty game gets announced every spring. It's like, this has been going on since 2005. Where the hell have you been? Mm-hmm. I mean, there's literally been a Call of Duty game every year since the Xbox, since Call of Duty 2, really.
I've always been a fan of Black Ops, though, so I will go and buy Black Ops. So when that comes out,
I'm not shitting on it. I actually love Call of Duty campaigns. I look forward to them every year. I mean, it's almost like a Michael Bay movie. It's just kind of fun and silly. I like playing them on Veteran, and they've actually gotten them much easier on Veteran, so it's not even a painful experience anymore. But I like the Call of Duty campaign, so I'm definitely going to get Blops 3. I just think it's funny when people are like, "Oh my God, a new Call of Duty!" It's like, well, yeah, what do you expect? It's April. And it's time to announce a new Call of Duty. I mean, that's just what happens. And we'll see the first gameplay, guess what? Probably at E3. I mean, that's just the schedule that Activision has held ever since. I mean, ever since they did the whole Infinity Ward Treyarch team up of rotating every other year. So
now we have Sledgehammer to add into that. So they're on a 3-year cycle now.
That is right. I don't get into the multiplayer anymore at all, but I still like the campaign for show.
That's all I'll play is multiplayer. But then just to appease Ray, because I told him I would play it way back, played D4 for a little bit. Couldn't get my attention and turned that off.
I downloaded it too, and I've just been looking at the icon on my screen.
Yeah, it just was too weird, and I didn't like the whole rotating of the screen thing. It was annoying.
That's Ray's shit. Anything that is just nonsensical and insane. So that's why he loves a lot of Japanese developers. And when I explained Final Fantasy Type 0 HD to him, he's like, dude, that sounds like my perfect game. Yeah. I mean, if you read my review this week, it is one of the most fucking bonker, like batshit crazy stories I've ever come across. The voice acting it grates on you. It's so bad. Yep. But that's what he likes.
Yeah, I mean, to each their own. But now I've got Son of Nor and We'll Fight for Food, so I've been jumping into those. So,
all right, yeah. So check those reviews coming up shortly on entertainmentboo.com. Well, me, I think it's pretty clear what I'm geeking out on right now. I wrote a 1,200 word editorial on it today because that's how much I've been thinking about it. I mean, I don't know why. Like I said, I think I'm regressing in terms of my gaming hobby and what I like to do. But I wrote a big piece literally that said, Marvel Mightiest Heroes brain dead gameplay is surprisingly addicting. It really is. I mean, this game probably came out 2 weeks ago. It's a mobile game. It's free from Marvel. And one of the things that first caught my eye is obviously the art style. It features the super deformed, or if you want to call it chibi, art style where it's essentially, big heads, little tiny bodies. Does that surprise anyone considering my obsession with Funko Pops and Mighty Mugs and anything else that's vinyl and has a fat head and a little body? So that drew me in. And then when I started playing it, I'm like, this shit is so dumb, yet so fun. It's like, I love, you join up with 3 other players online, and you go into a 2-minute time mission, and it's essentially like playing Horde almost, where you just have enemies coming at you, and you just sit there and you tap away, like tap, 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 tap. You might even have to slide every once in a while with your finger, but that's about it. Guess what? If you don't want to do shit, you could very well just go hide in a corner and still accrue points, which will eventually get you more in-game currency to keep playing. But it's one of these free-to-play games where I literally think I could play it for, right now, probably an hour and a half, 2 hours straight and not have to spend a dime, because by playing, you unlock rewards unlock more playtime. There's the allure of unlocking new heroes. Every day you get one free drawing to try to get a new hero for free, so you never really have to spend money. Plus it has leaderboards, and the leaderboards are tier-based, and I'm already up at the second to the highest tier on my way to Vibranium, and I'm so proud of myself. So it's like, hey, look, I'm number 1 in the world. That's this dumb-ass free-to-play game. But that is what makes me happy these days, people. That's what keeps me coming back and tapping and knocking out these boss battles in this game where I think anyone with a heartbeat could play. You wouldn't even have to be able to see. All you have to do is use your finger. Trust me. Check it out. Seriously. I mean, you can team up with friends online. That's kind of unique for mobile games. And it's Marvel. It's superheroes. Plus, they're so cute and charming looking. It's just hard to not want to play with them every day. So that's definitely what I'm geeking out on. I've also started to get into Call of Duty Heroes a bit more, which is another essentially Clash of Clans clone. So I now have 5 mobile games that I play every single day without fail. And it's really getting to the point where every night I probably eat up at least an hour and 15 minutes playing through all 5 of them. So that's my point on free-to-play games. That completely works for me, and I enjoy it, and I sadly, or not sadly, look forward to it every evening to end my day with a romp through my 5 free-to-play mobile games. So keep them coming, developers. I love it, regardless of what some of these other haters may be telling you. I've also been kind of geeking out on, and this is going to be sound really odd, but I just watched the Frank Sinatra documentary on HBO. It's a 2-part, 4-hour series.
Yeah, sweet.
I got into it. I was just, it came down to, I was playing these stupid games, right? So I like having the TV on the background to make some noise, and I just had it on HBO, and this Frank thing was on. My dad was a big fan of Frank. His dad was an even bigger fan of Frank. I appreciate old Blue Eyes. I mean, how can you not? But it was an engrossing documentary for some reason. It really was, like, just watching this guy's life and how he went from kind of getting a lucky break to then eventually winning an Oscar by being an actor, and how at one point he was almost considered washed up. I mean, before he won his Oscar, he literally, music labels wouldn't sign him. I mean, many people thought his career was over, and then he did this movie and got the Oscar for it. So I've been watching that, and then obviously I'm going to dive into Daredevil this weekend,
Word.
and all caught up on Flash now and Arrow, which I'm loving all of them. Caught up on Shield. I mean, it's a great fucking time to be a geek and watch primetime TV, and that's why it disappoints me when we look at these ratings reports and you see that Shield has declined a little bit, or this show has declined a little bit. It's like, what do you want to watch, people? I mean, do you really want another NCIS? Do we need another CSI? Do we need another crime drama? Really? Can we not try to just be a little more creative and let some of these sci-fi geeky shows live past a couple seasons? I mean, I think S.H.I.E.L.D. will survive because Marvel is a pretty big entity and ABC is a pretty big entity, and they're both kind of owned by another big entity. So I think Disney's going to keep that train rolling, but you never know when these shows are going to get canceled. I mean, I loved, what the hell was it? The Event. That was a good show. That got nixed early. I liked Revolution. It got 2 seasons and it got nixed. I mean, it's just like, let's keep these different types of shows on TV. I want the nerdy shit on TV. So keep watching them. Keep watching them. S.H.I.E.L.D. is good. It might not have been great during the first half of the first season, but it gets much, much better, and it's even better than it was towards the tail end of last season. So
Is it on Hulu
get
yet?
with it, people. Like current episodes?
Or like any of the episodes? Because like you said, I only caught the first half of the first season and I didn't like it. So
I know it's on Netflix, not that helps you, but yeah, I have no idea.
Okay.
It's probably on Hulu Plus. I don't know if it's on just the free Hulu.
Oh, I got Hulu Plus.
I mean, honestly, yeah, I bet it's on there then, or you could just go to ABC and probably just watch them that way if you want to.
Okay.
It's worth. I mean, as soon as we got the Winter Soldier plot, that's when the show really kind of weaved itself heavily into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it really hasn't looked back since. So, big fan. As a fan, I really liked this last episode too. But we're getting into the BuddhaTube territory, so I don't want to step on Justin's toes. So I think we're going to bring this Buddhacast OG style to an end, my friends. So it's good talking to you as always. Hopefully everyone out there in Buddha Nation appreciated the topic today and maybe made you kind of reminisce about your experience with achievements and how you approached them when they first showed up, or how you even do them now. I mean, think about kids born in 2005. They're 10 now. They've only known gaming with rewards built into it. So maybe they look at it differently than we would, although this podcast is quite explicit, so I don't know if their moms and dads are going to want them to listen to my fucking mouth saying shit left and right, bastard, motherfucking shit cunt. There you go. We got to earn our rating that iTunes gives us. So I'll leave you with that, people. That was a very intelligent statement from a very dumb person. So you know what to do. Get over to entertainmentbuddha.com, click through our posts, look at the shit we do. New stuff is up there every day. Follow our socials. Make us feel special. Or at least make me feel special. I don't know if these guys really have an ego like I do, but I'm bringing it to you real. I got a fucking ego. I want people to think I'm neat.
I'm continuously in a state of self-loathing, so please share all the love.
Yeah, David needs it too. Help us out. So, like I said, entertainmentbuddha.com. You know what it will make you do. It'll make you a better fucking geek, one post at a time. Ciao.